What's up, everyone? I thought I'd treat you to something a little bit different. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the top 5 recent Republican bills to come out recently. It wouldn't be a dumb Republican bill review video if we didn't start off with Florida. Now, I'm not going to be spending a whole bunch of time in Florida because Florida's kind of become the low-hanging fruit at this point. It's too easy to hate on Florida because good old Ron DeSantis, good old Ronnie D makes it too easy for us to just hate on everything. Ugh. You know, Ronnie D kind of sounds like a knockoff Sunny D brand that isn't subject to FDA regulations. It's deregulated. It's a deregulated juice drink. Ooh, wow. We can put all those chemicals that you love into Ronnie D. Will it give you cancer? Who cares? It tastes great. Will toes start growing out of your kids' foreheads? Who cares? The drink is so it's good. So buy some. Anyway, this bill in Florida. Florida teachers forced to remove or cover up books to avoid felony charges. Ooh, sounds reactionary. School teachers in Florida's Manatee County are removing books from their classrooms or physically covering them up after a new bill went into effect that prohibited material unless deemed appropriate by a librarian or a certified media specialist. Whatever the hell that means. If a teacher is found in violation of these guidelines, they could face felony charges. Could you imagine? Could you imagine getting a felony just for having a book? Well, like I said, Florida's the low-hanging fruit. It's too damn easy. They went this direction because, of course they did. It's Florida. But I just wanted to start off my list with this bill because it's so ridiculous and it doesn't mean anything. It's just more conservative, reactionary bullshit that's going to end up hurting people in the long run. So, leaving Florida behind, we're gonna take a nice little journey over to Nebraska. Yeah, Nebraska. Gonna keep woke out of the schools. Gonna protect the kids. Gonna goose step around the old folks' home. Nebraska. That's my Nebraska. Coming in at number 5 on my bills to review from Nebraska. Measure to repeal motorcycle helmet law in Nebraska returns to legislature. Let's keep reading. The perennial effort to repeal, or at least loosen, Nebraska's law requiring motorcyclists to wear helmets returned to legislature on Tuesday. The state law has required anyone riding a motorcycle to strap on a helmet since 1989, even as other states have reversed course and eliminated or relaxed their requirements. Now, this is an argument that I just can never wrap my head around. If you're riding a motorcycle on the road, let alone the highway or the interstate, you're contending with modern-day car-dependent infrastructure. Most people are driving a car, and they're being pretty damn careless about it. So here's the thing. You have one of two things that's going to happen. Either you're going to get to your destination safely and nothing at all is going to happen to you, or you're going to become a road tomato, and you're either going to take up space in a hospital emergency room, or you're just going to die. And people are okay with this. That's just something I can't fathom. It's like, ooh, but my freedom, man. You're infringing on my rights, dude. I mean, no. Name me, like, a right that's, like, show me a reference where it's just like, yes, the founding members of this here country do declare that if you ride a bicycle, you must not wear a helmet. The measures are in place to save your life. Like, people not having any respect for their lives and the lives of others just infuriates me to no end. And this bill lands itself as number 5. Let's move on. Yes. Bill targets school library books and critical race theory in Nebraska classrooms. Ooh, this should be a juicy one. Nebraska school districts would be required to make learning materials available for public inspection and create a process for parents to object to books in the school library under a bill introduced at the legislature on Thursday. The Parents' Bill of Rights and Academic Transparency Act from Senator Dave Merman of Glenville would also prohibit teachers from telling students they are inherently responsible for past actions because they belong to a certain race. Okay. This one, they're really going for the Florida on this one, all right? So, like, I don't need to explain critical theory because anyone that deeply understands it knows that we're not blaming, or the whole point of critical theory is not to blame people for the past. It's about to examine the past and say, yeah, that thing that happened 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago was kinda shit. But how can we be better? How can we do better as a society and, reconcile with the past? Not like, finger point like, oh, yeah, you over there, you're responsible for all the bad and the racism and whatever. Give me a break. Moving on to number 3. Nebraska State Senator introduces bill aimed at increasing parental control in schools. Oh boy. Oh joy. I can't hardly believe it. A Nebraska state senator introduced a bill on Thursday aimed at limiting education on certain matter commonly referred to by conservatives as critical race theory. Oh yeah, here we go. More critical race theory. Yep. Though the words critical race theory were not included in the bill uses language frequently used by conservative advocates to describe critical race theory, although that description often does not line up with the official definition of the term. Of course, because conservatives have to win over the reactionaries, right? They have to win over the population that's going to look at something and say, ooh, look, bad, finger pointy too bad, and it whips people up into a frenzy, and then they think, no, don't teach that to my kids, you're stupid, blah. And yeah, that's kind of sadly where we're at as a society. Oh, the Parental Bill of Rights would allow parents to sue teachers and schools. Oh, good. Another education bill that's been introduced this session is facing pushback. Some groups say the bill gives angry parents the right to dictate what can't be taught in a public school. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, if I wanted to teach kids about gravity, and, I don't know, some wackadoo parent doesn't believe that gravity is a thing. It's just like, no, it's not gravity, that's the work of God. No, like, flat earthers, what was the big thing in the 2000s? Evolution, that's still going on. Evolution deniers, people who don't want sex ed taught in schools because reasons. It's like, most parents, at least that I know of, don't teach their kids about the birds and the bees. You see it in, like, TV and, like, popular culture and all this other crap, but I don't know, like, any of my friends. I don't know if any one of them actually got a legitimate talk from their parents about what sex is. I know I didn't. I had to figure out my gay ass myself. But yeah, more stupid conservative fluff that feeds the reactionaries. Let's move on. Bills would ban transgender youths from sports teams, block gender alteration procedures for minors. Good. More denying of trans-affirming care. Nebraska would join at least 18 other states that have enacted bans on transgender youth participation on sports teams under a bill introduced Tuesday in the Nebraska legislature. The Sports and Spaces proposal, introduced by State Senator Kathleen Koff of Omaha and 27 co-sponsors, would limit participation of youth athletes to school-sponsored teams intended for their biological sex. More shoving trans kids out of society. That's what this is. Shoving trans kids out of society, pretending like they don't exist, not giving them any social spaces, not giving them any room to flourish in extracurriculars like sports. It's nonsense. And, the conservative argument is like, oh, trans kids, the suicide rate for trans kids is through the roof. It's like, you wonder why. You wonder why trans kids feel this way. Because no one wants to give them the space. No one wants to give them the time of day. And it's disheartening and infuriating to see more states following directly in the footsteps of Ron DeSantis' Florida. Let's move along to my favorite one. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this one got shot down in the state senate, but it's still entertaining to read about. Don't identify as human? North Dakota schools don't want you. A new bill would ban schools in the state from accommodating students who believe they are any animal species other than human. Oh boy. 6 Republican members of the North Dakota legislature introduced a bill Wednesday that would send a clear message to non-human identified students: you're not wanted in the Rough Rider state. Rough Rider state? Rough Rider? The fuck is a Rough Rider?
Say, Tom, do you have any pudding left?
I ate all mine up, silly.
Is that like... Is that sex? Is that a sex position? Is that like... Moving on. The 2-page bill... Oh, 2 pages? That's it? 2 pages? Man, they're getting really lazy with this shit. The 2-page bill, which is primarily a measure seeking to prohibit schools in the state from accommodating transgender youths, includes a subsection aimed at different and theoretical category of students. A board of school district, a public or private school, or a teacher in a public or private school may not adopt a policy establishing or providing a place, facility, school program, or accommodation that caters to a student's perception of being any animal species other than human. How the hell do you enforce that? And who's going to enforce that? The bill appears to be connected to an urban myth about litter boxes in U.S. schools, because, of course, that's where it gets its roots from. Look, the whole litter box thing is just insanity, and it goes to show just how thoughtless and reactionary conservatives are, because they'll jump on any reactionary bandwagon that will get their panties in a bunch that they can just go to their local school board and scream into a microphone about. God. It never ends. Yes, we have people who like to claim themselves as animals, such as cats and dogs, Van Wickle wrote in an email. Yeah. They're called furries. Get over it. But like I said, I think this bill ended up getting shot down because it's a 2-page bill, it's all fluff, it's nonsense, and who's going to spend their resources to enforce it? Then again, they're spending resources to enforce bills rejecting trans people the right to exist, and they're expending other resources to ban books and fine teachers and other nonsense. But whatever. Well, ladies and germs, that'll about do it for my review of 5 Republican bills from Nebraska. And remember, when Republicans are involved, there are no winners. These are all losers. These are all abhorrent. If you have a chance to vote against horrible legislation like this, please do so. And stay awesome, stay grand, and I'll see you next time.